Well, hi everyone. I'm here with Liv Nicholl, the marketing operations, the everything manager of Gangster Gardens, and we're in your
Garden Gangsters.
Garden Gangsters. Shit. Here we are with Liv Nicholl, who is the marketing manager, the operation manager of Garden Gangsters.
Boom. Yeah.
Here in Liberty Village, and there's a few locations you guys have, and the reason why we're talking is because I feel like you guys really accentuate the great parts of Liberty Village, and you guys know the neighborhood really well. So would love to hear about your guys' story. I mean, the first kind of burning question always is around, like, what makes you a community staple in Liberty Village, and why should people incorporate you as part of their life? Because everyone here is very lifestyle driven. You've got the F45 across the street. You've got all these kind of little community sectors. So yeah, what are you guys all about, and why do people make you part of their everyday life?
Great question. Questions.
I know. Sorry, I totally overwhelmed you there, huh?
That's okay. So I think Liberty Village is definitely has been up and coming.
Yeah, right.
For quite a while now, and I think it's it's about to reach such a wonderful peak if it hasn't already. And as a health food space, I think with the shift in just the overall culture right now, a lot of people, regardless of age, are really mindful of what they're eating and how much that impacts.
Like this.
Tasty.
This is a
wrap game.
Wrap game.
Yeah, so it's a vegan sausage, tofu scramble, chipotle mayo, a little bit of sauce.
Damn, sauce. Yeah, this is great. Sorry to cut you off. This is so good. This is the first time I've had it.
Good. We've kind of established ourselves as an area or space for people to come in, and you don't need to sit down and eat here necessarily. You can take it to your office space, you can take it home, but the point is that we're creating food, and we're creating an opportunity for people to eat well, and not just from a health standpoint. Like, healthy doesn't have to taste like a wheatgrass shot, although wheatgrass shots are amazing for you.
Of course, yeah, I hear you.
And sometimes you want to taste like you're eating, like
it's very flavorful, honestly.
Yeah,
that's
so
really good.
I think that's where we're trying to go in terms of providing a taste profile for people that doesn't seem so intense.
Right.
It's more accessible. So it's health that's super accessible. And that's what I think a lot of people in Liberty Village are looking for. So I think that was the answer to the first part of your question. I can't remember the second part.
For sure. Well, that's the main one. Like, what kind of that's what makes you guys community staple, and why people make you a part of their life, right? And I mean, you're already kind of you're sort of dipping into the next question around community, right? You're saying how this community has really been up and coming for a while.
Yes.
It's come a long way, and it's going in a certain direction. So maybe let's talk about what that direction is that you see the whole community going. And also, let's get a bit of background. How has it been up and coming? Sure. And then we'll tie that back to you guys, right? How are you part of that wave? How are you paving the path for this to be a place that people watching want to move to?
For sure.
So that it's not all just hype, because there's a lot of hype here.
Yeah.
Let's acknowledge it. So I think people want to hear a bit about that. So yeah, where's Liberty Village? Kind of, how has it been evolving? Where's it going?
Yeah, so I can speak from my perspective, which I think is a perspective of a lot of people.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
To me, it seems just like especially because we have a location in Commerce Court and a location in Liberty Village.
Sure. Yeah.
I've been able to see the difference of just energy, really, like the difference of being in the financial district versus in Liberty Village.
Yeah.
And both are great, but very different. And when you come into Liberty Village, we've got our chefs.
Yeah, of course. You guys have to do. You got to do a limbo, or you gotta do a hurdle up with the wire. Hold on, we got you. No worries. Look at this.
Just a brief pause.
Sounds like a really fun team as well, obviously, right?
Yeah, we've got an amazing group of people.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, so Liberty
You have
Village.
the two locations.
Yes.
Very different.
Yes, and Liberty Village seems to be, I think there's a stigma that Liberty Village is younger.
Yeah.
There's a younger demographic.
Yeah.
Which, for the most part, I think statistically it is.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's also, I think it's more of a mindset that draws people here, and that creates that that demographic here. So it's a not a younger mindset, but it's a fresher mindset, and I think people here are demanding, for lack of a better word, a new way of working and living.
Oh wow!
And so I find that there's a desire to create a space for people to work and live that's much more balanced. So versus the financial district where it seems to be very go 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 go, and that hustle game is super strong.
Yeah,
it is here as well, but people are creating and asking for that balance more than they are in the financial district or right downtown.
And you can just, geographically, that's pretty close to the water, right? We're kind of both Vancouverites in our own way, right? So obviously we kind of get that. So that's interesting. They're kind of demanding for that, and that's reflected through, I guess, all the fitness studios here, the kinds of food they're here. Like, what are they demanding as far as a balance? You talk about like a work-life balance kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and I think. Exactly, you said it. Like, we've got F45 right across from us. There's a few boutique fitness studios around, and a great example would be we still serve cookies, like a classic, not a gluten-free cookie. It's just a classic cookie, but we also serve a really high-quality grain and salad bowl because people here are looking for that balance, right? They want to be able to get a salad for lunch, but then pick up a cookie for later.
Right.
Because that's kind of what it's all about. Right? Yeah. And that, so again, going back to that demographic, I think coming from a marketing standpoint, looking at our demographic in Liberty Village, it was different for me because I'm so used to looking at statistics in terms of age. But this was statistics based off of a mindset, which is much harder to pinpoint. Because it's not really something you can put on paper.
Googling that in your database.
Exactly.
I guess they call that kind of psychographics. That's a bit more like stuff you do, but not quite mindset. That's an interesting one to crack.
Yeah. So it's been a massive learning curve, and to see how, as Liberty Village grows, the demands of and wants and needs and desires of the people in it grow as well, and shift kind of to knowing that they deserve those options. They deserve high quality, tasty, healthy, well-balanced options.
Amazing. And so that's where you guys, of course, come in. And then as far as where Liberty, right? Of course, you're kind of trailblazing that. Yeah. As far as where the trajectory of Liberty Village is in the next, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, we're not really fortune tellers per se, at least I'm not. But like, like, where do you think it's going to go? I think it's going to be like just, are there more developments slated, more dog parks? I don't know. Is it more? You guys opening up more locations? Like, how is this community going to evolve in the next little while? Is it going to push out west? Is it going to push more north? Like, what are your thoughts? Have you heard of anything to the grapevines of how it's evolving?
Yeah. So a great kind of example would be our office building is just up top of basically right on top of here.
Right.
And it's exciting because there's a whole bunch of construction going on.
Right.
There's a downfall to that, it's pretty noisy. But there's like a 40-story building going up right beside us, and I it's happening quickly, really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And Liberty Village, I was living in New Zealand about 2 years ago for for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And came back here, and it was night and day. Like Liberty Village, the last time I was here.
Oh well, yeah.
There was, I think, a couple cool concrete buildings with nothing inside. It was just starting in my mind. And,
fair enough.
Then I came back, and the vibe and the energy so quickly, because again, with this new wave of health and wellness that's coming from, I don't even want to say younger generation. I think everyone is hopping on board now, and Liberty Village seems to be a hub for not only health and wellness, but community and getting that sense that you don't quite get right downtown.
Yeah.
That sense of togetherness and that sense of well-being, and that you're being looked after by the businesses around you and by the people around you. So, Liberty Village in 1 year will look very
Wow.
different. And I think, you know, in 5 years, oh my goodness, it's a hub. It's starting to become a massive hub for a lot of tech agencies
Yeah.
and even PR and marketing firms. So
Right.
I think it's really going to be like the new downtown. I
No
think it's
kidding.
in my mind, I see that.
I love
in
it.
There, yeah.
So are you recommending for either more business owners to start to open up shop here, more people to maybe move to Liberty Village? Is where it's all going? What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think that it's something to look into for a lot of people because
Yeah.
you know, of the growing area, but at the same time, it's also very particular to who your demographic is. So I wouldn't necessarily say if you are, if you're a clothing store that provides clothing for people 65 plus.
Yeah.
I would say Liberty Village wouldn't be
Right.
necessarily your demographic, but if you're a dog spa or
Dog spa,
if
yeah.
you're
That
a
serves,
fermentation
plant
bar,
food. Yeah, sure.
things that are really entrenched and desired by this demographic, I'd
Got
say,
it.
yeah, definitely look into coming into Liberty.
Totally, it's just very specific in the community, and if those are your values as someone who is looking for a place,
For sure.
move in. I mean, as long as the price makes sense for you and all that,
Absolutely,
right? Which
yeah.
I'm sure a realtor would be, would tell us all about that.
sure.
Fair enough, right? That's super cool. Now, shifting it towards you guys, right? Because at the end of the day, like, you're entrepreneurs in your own accord, right? Something maybe you talk to Ian, the owner, about, like, what are the big challenges in running a business, especially in your guys' world, right? Whether it's expansion plan or just everyday headaches or just natures of the industry, like biggest challenges and how you guys overcome them. If you can
For sure, yeah.
condense it to a couple points that are maybe most recent or
Absolutely.
that come to mind.
So I think probably the biggest hurdle that we're facing right now is, and I don't think that this is something that's often talked about because I think a lot of people, and rightfully so, fear how it will make them look to customers and potential customers and the world, really.
Sure.
But if you're in the health food industry or wellness industry, anything under the scope of well-being,
Yeah.
you are held to, and rightfully so, you are held to such a high standard
Right.
in terms of your ethical practices, your
Right.
sustainable practices, your, the corporate culture, how you're treating people, how you're treating the land.
Sure.
And where it gets tricky is, you have all of these demands from the consumer and from yourself because you want to be those people.
Yeah.
There is, especially as a new business and as a startup, it can be really tricky. You're striving every day just to break even.
Of course. Yeah.
And just, you're not even focusing on making a profit at this point. You just want to be able to pay the people who are working their bums off for you.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
to get the customers what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And the prices on finding eco-friendly straws and
Sure.
cutlery and packaging and branded eco-friendly packaging
Right.
is really
Adds up.
It does add up, and while it's all doable,
Yeah.
you have to, I think, pick where you're really gonna
Sure.
put that time into until you can be at a place where it's not even a question.
Yeah. Of course.
So I think
Interesting.
where we come into a little bit of, where we have our issues is that we hold ourselves to such a standard, and we want to be that company that, no, we won't even give you a cup without a lid,
Right.
But also we live in the city, and you're probably transiting.
Right.
So
yeah,
you probably need a lid, and okay, so then we have to find a lid that is biodegradable and that,
course.
whatever. And it all, again, like I said, it all comes at a price. So we are trying to. It's not even about finding a middle ground. It's about just doing it.
Right.
But it's, again, like that fine balance of having the money in order to do that.
Totally.
Right.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure, I think, on a lot of health food businesses.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think, let's just be candid here, do you think part of that is a bit ridiculous in how people have such a high expectation?
Right.
And who are those people, like the 1% that go on Yelp and Google? Like, let's be honest, right?
Right.
Let's call them out here. Like, how much of that, I mean, obviously it's not all realistic, and people aren't really empathetic to that because they don't get business owners as much as they should, most people.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, do you think some of that's a bit overblown? Like, if you had all the money in the world, you think that's all warranted stuff? Or like, I don't know, let's talk about like how practical that stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one because even like myself, I preach, I take bags with me when I go to the grocery store, but sometimes I forget.
Sure.
And if I go into a cafe and I'm entrenched in this world on the more inside, I do this every day. I'm in this world, and even when I go to a cafe and I see that they've got plastic straws or whatever, there's a part of me that's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But then I remember, oh my goodness, like it's the tiniest things are really, they add up.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's a bad standard to be held to, but I do think that if you're going to hold a business to that standard, you should also try and hold yourself to that standard. Mm-hmm. Because even if you're offering, a discount if you bring your own cup, or you're offering, some steel straws, people still go to what's convenient.
Yeah.
So even though they're demanding this of us, again, totally okay that they're demanding it, they should also be holding themselves accountable and making sure that they're also doing those things.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like practice what you preach. People, I think that's big. It's like, and I feel like a lot of people obviously don't do that, right? So I think that's a good challenge, and for both sides, right?
I'm guilty of it myself,
no,
right?
Fair enough.
So I get it on both ends. I get wanting to push businesses to do that, to feel like you're the driving force of, no, you should be doing this. Also being the business and feeling those pressures and thinking, oh my God, we totally want to, but also there's just a lot of counterparts that are involved.
No, 100%. It's just like running a business, right? You can't just get there right away usually, right? So I think that's a really like honest and raw and like valid point. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's important for people to know about. And let's wrap up with about leveling up. It's kind of we talk about this being a younger part of the city, and I'm sure most people resonate with that sentence. Leveling up, improving yourself, right? Getting to that next level. I mean, how do you guys level up? And I guess, how can that rub off on people, whether it's your staff, of course, who've been very exuberant throughout this interview, and or your customers? Like, what is that mission to like get better personally, and how does that affect other people who are directly tied to your organization?
That's a wonderful question. So I think, I'm not even going to speak about it on a this is our brand statement kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
What we genuinely believe is that. Do you need to come through? Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you got a limbo. All right, perfect. Yeah. Thanks so much for being accommodating, guys.
What we genuinely believe and what we see is, because we've all done it. A lot of people within our company have come from the corporate world and have wanted that balance. And have wanted to do something very different from what they're used to. And
sure. Does Ian specifically, or the founder? Talk a little bit more about how.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll kind of give you an insight as to what we believe in, and when I say that, it's coming from a lot of what Ian has experienced,
right?
And what a lot of us have experienced. And I think what makes us so approachable and so great is that we're so relatable. Like,
it's awesome.
This desire to, people are working 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. They are on their grind like never before.
Totally.
This culture is just pushing it hard.
Yeah, it's great.
And it is great, and it's so inspiring, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you are providing yourself with the mental fuel, the physical fuel, the energetic fuel to be able to sustain yourself.
Of course, yeah.
To be able to, it's not even about surviving anymore.
Sure.
It's about thriving.
Of course, yeah,
and,
great point.
A lot of people, there's a big vegan movement, vegetarian movement, paleo movement, keto movement.
Yeah.
And, I think it's important, in what we try and preach is we're all about intuitive eating. So if that's why we offer vegan options and vegetarian options, and then we also offer meat, raw meat, organic chicken, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. Because each body runs its best on different things.
True.
So what makes me feel my best is going to be really different to what makes you feel your best. And we want people to know that this is a safe space to come in and order whatever it is that you need to order in order to do your best, in order to get you from thinking out your dreams to actually achieving them. Like, we want to be a space for people to come in and yes, get that food and that fuel in that sense, but also to be able to talk to people behind the counter and to have an organic, genuine conversation.
Sure,
about, man, I've had a shit day.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked! Like, let me get you turmeric. That's really great.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
It's about opening up the conversation about what's actually happening.
I love it.
And yeah.
That's great. And so how do you personally feel yourself as far as like you meditate?
Yeah.
What do you do for exercise? Do you journal? Like what are the some personal development things that you do
For sure.
to keep you on your A game?
Yeah. So like I said, I spent a few years in New Zealand, and New Zealand's a very different culture to Toronto. The pace in which people live at's much slower.
Yeah.
And then I jumped right back into living like right downtown in the city.
Right.
So it was definitely a shift, but I think, making sure that I'm giving myself that time. Like I really try, and when I eat my food,
Yes.
try, even if you're talking to people, great, that's okay, but being mindful when you do it, right? Because
eating slow, like I don't eat slow, I eat way too fast.
I try so hard to, but it's like so good. Why would I
Yeah,
eat that
exactly.
stuff?
I know it's hard, right?
But yeah, eating mindfully and taking that time. If I'm working from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m., whatever, I'll make sure that even if it's 15 minutes, that I shut down my laptop, I put away my phone, and I sit down and I eat my meal, and I'm super present with it.
Enjoy.
That way, it's scientifically proven, like your digestion is much better when you're doing that.
Eating slow or just being mindful?
Eating slow and eating mindful, and just like focusing on what you're eating. Also eating within a community, so taking your friends, from work, and if it's hot outside, go and have a picnic or whatever.
Get some nature therapy, right?
Exactly.
All the rage
exactly.
these
There's
days.
stuff in the city that allows you to do that. So yeah, I guess as a company, like you have our name, Garden Gangsters. There's kind of duality within that name as well.
One more, limbo. Hold on, it's stuck in your hair. Okay, we're good now.
Yeah, like our focused around duality and finding that balance. So Garden Gangsters, kind of, you would never hear those two.
Yeah, and I was curious where the name came about. This is a perfect segue into that.
Yeah. So, and then again, the colors. Our color scheme is like this salmony coral color with a deep green. So kind of a feminine and a masculine approach to things, and finding that balance in the city, and that nature in the city, and that softness in the hardness, and just finding that balance. So
got it. And so Garden Gangsters is very much about that balance.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Thanks.
So hey, a final note for the viewers, something you wanted to talk about that we didn't quite uncover, a call to action perhaps for people that haven't checked you out yet and want to check you out?
Yeah, please feel free to stop by. We always try and provide a really lighthearted experience. There's often music blasting, and just come and have a good time and be happy, and we're just about fostering that sense of community, whether it's in the financial district or it's in Liberty Village.
Totally.
We want you to just come and give you some lightheartedness within your day. So yeah.
Beautiful. And also you do deliver, you cater in case they can't come out here, right?
We just launched a catering catering sector of our company. So we do deliveries within a 50-kilometer radius. So
beautiful.
Pretty much within the GTA. And we often try and do the delivery ourselves. So it's a really personal experience, and
fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Liv Nicholl from Garden Gangsters.
Yeah.
Breaking it down. Thanks so much for your time today. And guys, keep leveling up your living.